Good evening, Lizzie boys. We're back yet again with even more Monster High news because today the Hocus Pocus dolls have officially been revealed this time. Before it was a bit unofficial, we just kind of had the one image leak out of nowhere. Now we have a full set of stock photos for all three dolls. We get to see what their box looks like, and it turns out that they come with Binks the cat from the movie. I hope I'm saying his name right. I last watched this thing when I was like 15, and it's been a while since I was 15, so... Yeah. Without further ado, let us start talking about the newest Skullector pack releasing on October 4th. We'll start by talking about the dolls' box, just because this is the thing that we have yet to see. We have seen the dolls, we only had one photo, but now we have all of the stock photos. So here we can see the sisters as well as Binks. Again, I hope I'm saying the cat's name right. Again, been a while since I've seen the movie. But the box is obviously larger because it has to compensate for 3 dolls rather than the typical Skullector 2 packs, which is the most we had gotten in one pack until right now, I guess. So on the back of the box, we've got the house. Of course, Binks is chilling there. You got them flying on their broomsticks in the background, except for Mary, who I think is using a vacuum cleaner. Yeah. So the dolls are all right. I still think their clothes look cheap. Like, they definitely used a very cheap fabric for the dresses based on the way it's laying down. Or, I guess, not laying down. Like, it looks stiff, you know? Like, if you've ever seen one of the budget Disney princess dolls where they've got, like, the fabric printed on one side, and then you flip it over and it's white underneath, that's the kind of fabric that's been used for these dolls. It's not premium, it is super budget. So, that's one of my main gripes with this set. Overall, I think they depicted the characters pretty well. Winifred looks cool. I've heard that they reused Mercedes' face sculpt for her, and if that's true, that is actually a very clever use of it, because I think she always had, like, kind of buck teeth in the movie, so it makes sense to use the character, the only Monster High character to ever have. Okay, no, not the only character to have visible teeth. I forgot about Claudia, but, you know, like, visible front teeth like that. It's a good idea to use that face sculpt. I think Sarah and Mary most likely have new face sculpts. I personally don't recognize either of them. Also, one thing you guys pointed out is that all 3 dolls are wearing the same pair of earrings, and that is actually true. All 3 of them have the same earring sculpt, almost completely unaltered. Actually, I don't think it's altered at all. It is unaltered. Face-wise, the 3 look pretty good. I'm not gonna, like, say that they're bad, though Sarah does still resemble Tiffany a lot to me. I don't know why, because, like, when you put them side by side, they're not that similar, but every time I look at her, I think about the Tiffany doll from the Chucky and Tiffany set, the Bride of Chucky set, if you don't know what I'm talking about. Yeah. Also, something cool is that Winifred and Mary both use the new hand sculpt that was created recently for the Enid doll from the Wednesday Netflix show collection. So it's like an Ever After High hand, but modified to have long nails. I'm really glad that they're doing that now instead of just using that ugly clawed hand sculpt for everything. I hate that hand sculpt. It is my least favorite Monster High hand sculpt in history, so I'm glad that they made this new one because I like it a lot better. Also, I was unsure before if they gave Mary a thicker body sculpt, but to be honest, it kind of looks like they just gave her baggy clothes to kind of obscure how thin her body is underneath. There is definitely a new body sculpt that was created for this set. I just think it might have been used for Winifred and not Mary. Although I feel like it had to have been used for Mary. So maybe she does have it, but they just gave her like somewhat baggier clothing to make her look bigger than she actually is. I'm not sure. I'm just kind of speculating, yeah. I also like seeing the one hand sculpt return with Mary, the kind of like grabby hand looking one. Yeah, I always liked that sculpt. I thought it was cute. They used it for Halloween. They would use it for Tour Alive fairly often as well, so I like seeing it again. One big complaint that I see about this set very often is that they're too bright, and when I was looking at the dolls, I initially thought they looked off to me, but I couldn't think of why because I haven't seen the movie in a long time. And then I started seeing pictures from the movie, and yeah, the clothing was not this bright in the original movie. In the original movie, like, I think Sarah was still kind of wearing pink, but it was a much darker pink, you know? Like, basically all the colors were toned down a lot. They were not as vibrant as they are here. I'm not sure why they went for something so vibrant here. All I could think is, like, because they're working with Disney. Like, Disney was like, oh, make them brighter, make them more colorful. I don't know. Again, all we can really do is speculate, but it does look off to me that they're all so bright. In the other stock photos, they don't look nearly as bright as they do here. I don't know why this image has the dolls looking so bright, but it does. Here's what the three look like in their box, by the way. I completely forgot to show this image. So they are really just that bright. Their colors really are just very bright, so it's not just like a stock photo thing. It does just seem like this is what the finalized dolls are going to look like. They're just colorful. I don't know. I was never the biggest fan of this movie. Like, it was okay and I enjoyed it enough when I watched it, but I don't know if I want to get this set. The price is $125. When you factor in shipping and tax, because you have to, because you're buying from Mattel Creations, this set is only available at Mattel Creations, so you have to pay shipping, because Mattel Creations does not have like a quota that you have to meet to get free shipping. You just pay shipping no matter what. My mom bought like this $350 doll from them once and had to pay shipping because they don't do free shipping ever. So when you factor that in, the set ends up being closer to around $140 USD. And I just don't know if these dolls are worth that to me. If I was like a huge fan of the movie, then yeah, I'd be like, okay, they're my favorite characters, I gotta get them. But for me personally, I'm not sure. I'd like to know if any of you are intending to get this set. Feel free to let me know in the comments. But yeah, let me know if you're excited for this set, if you want to get them, or if you think the price is justified. One of the last things I want to mention about this set is that all three dolls unfortunately suffer from a bad case of object heels. If you don't know what that means, if you somehow haven't heard of it, basically it's been a trend recently for Monster High to lazily incorporate references into the shoes by just kind of like making a normal shoe and then using a random object for the heel. They used to do this really well. Like, look at the original Beetlejuice Skullector set. Both dolls have object heels, but you never see anyone complain about it because they actually look really good. But then you've got later dolls like, I'd say the Wednesday dolls have gotten the most flack recently. They just did a really bad job incorporating the objects and it looks very lazy. Sometimes they do still do good work though, like the Dracula Skullector has really nice heels. But I'd say these dolls fall into the bad category. Like, I don't know. It just feels like these things could have been accessories or incorporated into the pack some other way other than being heels. Like, Winifred has like this angel statue as one of her heels, as well as what looks like a tombstone. I honestly don't know what the other object is. Mary, this is Sarah. I can't tell what the objects on Sarah's heels are. I'm looking at these and I'm drawing a blank. I don't know what the references are here. As for Mary, she has a bird cage and a vacuum cleaner because she had to ride a vacuum cleaner instead of a broom in the movie. Yeah. Like, I can deal with it for Mary. Mary was kind of like a silly character, so giving her silly object heels makes sense. But for the other two, I'm just not crazy about it. You know? I just think it's kind of a lazy, cheap way to incorporate the references. I'm not ragging on the sculpt work, by the way. Mattel sculptors are incredibly talented, and I admire their work greatly. I just wish that their sculpt work could go towards something other than a heel, you know? Like, imagine how cool it would have been if maybe that tombstone shape heel had been like a purse or something, or I still don't know what these things are, but like, imagine them as accessories, like full-blown accessories for the dolls to hold. But yeah, I do really want to make a tier list about object heels someday. During the original run of G1, object heels were incredibly creative, but nowadays it just feels like they're doing it just to do it, and it just doesn't look as good as it used to. Again, there are tons of good examples of object heels, just some of the more recent ones like these feel very lazy. So yeah, that's the Hocus Pocus set. As I mentioned, these dolls are going to cost $125, closer to $140 once you factor in shipping and tax. If you live outside the US, that price will only go up for you, unfortunately. I know it's a lot more expensive to be an international collector, so to anyone who's going for this set, I wish you the best of luck. Unfortunately, you're going to be up against the Disney adults, just like with Nightmare Before Christmas, so, got my fingers crossed for you guys, really. I'm still personally unsure if I want to buy this set. Like, I still kind of have fear of missing out, or FOMO, when it comes to Monster High releases, especially Skullector releases. Skullector releases always sell out very fast. Fortunately, they've been doing early access if you're a member of the fan club, so they put like a limited amount up for early access the day before for fan club members. So if I can get them then, I might, but I'm not sure. I low-key still have PTSD with these things from Jack and Sally. That was the only drop I've ever missed, and it was devastating. I had to buy them from a reseller for $160. So anyway, that's everything I wanted to say. Best of luck to everyone going for this set. I'm sure a lot of people want them, but to be honest, I've seen a lot of negative comments about them, both about how cheap they look, about the object heels, and about the price. Because at $125, these dolls should definitely be higher quality. I get it, they're splitting the budget between 3 dolls, but also, the budget's gotta be pretty high for the set to cost $125, you know what I'm saying? So the dolls should look nicer than they do. But anyway, I'm gonna stop complaining. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Feel free to share your thoughts in the comments below. I always like to see what you guys have to say. And yeah, bye!